Oh, your strength training is great, but if you don't fuel your muscle, you're not going to grow. You're going to stay in a state of we call metabolism, which is just breaking down. So we need to have a little bit of anabolic effect, and we need nutrition for that. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Barrett. I'm a board-certified chiropractic physician with a passion and emphasis in functional nutrition. We can't wait to add value to your health as well as the health of your family. Thanks for listening in to the Real Health Podcast.
Hey, before we jump into today's episode, do me a favor. If you like this episode and you like hearing from Dr. B, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram. We're really trying to get this health movement out. So without further ado, let's get to today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. This is Lane. Got Dr. B here early in the morning. He's eating his bowl of, I don't really know all that is, but that's a big bowl. And we're going to speak to part 2 or another part of Pillar of Health. You're going to say something because I'm curious of what's in that bowl.
It's about halfway gone now. It's frozen blueberries,
Okay.
Grass-fed Greek yogurt, and then 1 Degree is the company that makes a sprouted, glyphosate-free, gluten-free granola. I throw on top and a little honey.
Where do you get the granola? People are going to ask.
Yeah, Whole Foods.
Okay.
It's called 1 Degree, and on the front it's called Farmers We Know. It's the cleanest, in my opinion, sprouted, glyphosate-free, ancient grain-based granola. And actually,
We're not sponsored by
Costco.
them. Just
No, we're not. But Costco has the massive bowl or massive bag of oats sprouted.
Oh yeah, the yellow bag.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
The sprouted,
Okay. Yep.
gluten-free oats, super clean. I feel really good off of them.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what I'm eating, and we're talking about nutrition today. So
Perfect fit.
apropos.
There you go. So part 1, if you go back to Pillar of Health or just the Pillars of Health that we're doing, I'm sure Dr. Barrett doesn't. I don't know if we're going to know how many actual parts we're going to do of this because we're just going to continue going with Pillars of Health. The first one was strength training. Make sure you go back and listen to that. I've actually had some good feedback with that one.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's laid a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, it's good. Same. I've had quite a few patients mention like, oh man, yeah, I know I need to do that. And again, because the most important thing that you could do really long term from a body composition standpoint is hold on for dear life the muscle that you made, because everything's going to try to break that stuff down. So.
Yeah. So make sure you go back and listen to part 1. I keep saying part 1, but episode 31, strength training, Pillar of Health. Today we're going to talk about nutrition, which I'm sure is a very passionate topic for Dr. Barrett. But before we do, just real quick, Armor Beauty is now open at Armor Health, which is in the West Knoxville location. Real quickly, you want to talk about Armor Health for maybe 30, 60 seconds of just an overview?
Yeah, Armor Beauty is really...
Armor Beauty.
Yeah, is really just set up to serve with facials or waxing or eyelash extensions, and just healthy topical products that you can put on your face. And so the team here is amazing, and they're here set up, serve you. In those kind of capacities.
I noticed your eyelashes were a little longer.
Oh, thank you. That's right.
No, the setup looks amazing. The it looks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
They did a really good job.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that for you guys. Nutrition, Pillar of Health. We talk about it almost every episode.
We do.
I know, and we talk about it every episode, and it's a basis for every episode. But why a Pillar of Health? Like, what are the listeners going to get from today?
Well, your strength training is great, but if you don't fuel your muscle, you're not going to grow. You're going to stay in a state of we call metabolism, which is just breaking down. So we need to have a little bit of anabolic effect, and we need nutrition for that. Also, if we look at, I'm just going to say my market, which is mainly moms, they don't eat enough, man. They run around with kids and they forget to eat or they snack, so it kind of satiates them for a second. But they don't eat 3 solid meals a day with a lot of protein, and we see it affect them. We see it in their hormones. Their hormones start to get disrupted. Their cycle becomes irregular. They stop ovulating. They stop sleeping well at night. Brain fog. So these are all symptoms of undereating. They're gaining weight because the body's in hibernation mode. So they start to gain weight around the midsection. They become what we call skinny fat. And again, their thyroid starts to downregulate, so they start losing hair and nails. And like, oh, well, it's just postpartum, or, oh, it's just, the third baby. Whatever culture's going to tell you, it's a lie. You're more than likely undernourished. And so today I just want to lay the foundation of what nourishment looks like so that you can get your cycle back, your hormones regulated, your sleep is solid, and you're truly living optimal life.
You said something just a minute ago that a question popped in my mind, because it even happens to me sometimes when moms or men too could get so busy that they just don't eat. And the thing that they could say, and I even would tell you too, if, for instance, yesterday, for me, yesterday I was blessed to be busy. I hate saying so busy. I'm blessed to be busy. That I think I know that I underate, but I wasn't hungry. And there are a lot of people, I feel like, that are walking around that eat one massive meal a day, and they'll say, well, I'm just not hungry.
Yeah,
What's happened?
Well,
does that make sense?
Are you hungry if you were to run a race or play sports or run a marathon? No, you don't. You're not hungry while you're running.
That's good.
You're hungry when you rest. The problem is we're not resting enough to initiate hunger. There's 2 modes of the nervous system. You're either in rest and digest. Okay, we also call it feed and breed, which is hormones, okay, fertility, digestive function, or your fight or flight. So if you're on the go and you're making cortisol and adrenaline, you're not in that state of mind to initiate hunger.
You know what I'm thinking about is, even like I said, for me, throughout the day, I'm really not that hungry. I'll have a regular meal, and maybe I've underate. But let's say that Chelsea and I will sit down for, we're going to watch a movie, and all of a sudden I'm starving.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I'm relaxed.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Okay.
So that's one point, and then totally down a rabbit hole, and I'm not going to go down there. But there's also something called leptin resistance, that when you're overweight for a long period of time and you've underate for a long period of time, then when you're underfed, it disrupts your hormonal system, and so you don't actually make the hormone to initiate hunger, or your brain is burned out from that hormone so much that you could even be hungry all the time, and we call that leptin resistance, yet have a really poor metabolism. So sometimes you have to force feed yourself. If you've been eating and you're underfed, you do have to kind of force yourself to eat.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what, in regards to nutrition, let's start with what you think is the most important and build from there.
So I'm going to give some practical things today. Okay, because I'm going to give you a blanket statement of what I always say.
Okay.
It's from Coach Greg Glassman, founder of CrossFit. 15 years ago when I started CrossFit. This is the simplicity of nutrition. This is what he said: eat lean meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar.
I knew you were going to say that. That is a dedicated. If you can recite that back, that is very impressive.
It's my life. So eat lean meat, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. And when we look at that nutritional plate, it's really simple. We complicate nutrition because you have these Instagram people that are like, go vegan, it's going to change your life. Carnivore is going to change your life. No, they're just making a platform for you, okay? Right? They're just marketing a book or something. Guys, keep it simple, right? Eat protein, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, right? Some starch and no sugar, and you're going to live healthy. So we know that. And I think everyone knows that. Paleo, Whole30, right? This nutritional plate is what your body needs to live a long, healthy life. So I'm not going to get into carnivore and paleo, versus paleo, or paleo versus vegan. To me, diversity is important for the gut bacteria. I want plants and I want animals. So I'm going to kind of throw that away, and I'm not going to talk to that as much. I want to talk to a practical step that sometimes the first step is not what you're eating, but how you're eating and how much you're eating. So I would challenge listeners today to evaluate two things. Are you getting enough protein, and are you eating 3 meals a day? But I thought intermittent fasting is like transformational. Yeah, kind of, but not really. If you're not eating enough, intermittent fasting is terrible for your health. And if you're a female who's doing intermittent fasting and under eating, you're destroying your hormones. Stop intermittent fasting now and eat 3 meals a day. If you don't, you're not going to live the abundant life that you're called to. And until you can actually get your nutrition, just think about it, okay? If you're a 140-pound female, I would ask you to consume 100 grams of protein per day. Do you think you can get that in 2 meals? No way. It's even hard for me to get 50 grams of protein in meat, lean meat, some nuts, some seeds, in 1 meal. Now, that's a lot of protein when you really think about it. So you have to have 2 massive meals. I don't know a female that's intermittent fasting having 2 massive 50-gram protein meals. So can you do it? No, probably not. And until you can prove to yourself that you can eat 3 square meals a day that's centered around protein, there's no point in intermittent fasting. Do not do that anymore. I don't feel good when I eat in the morning. Well, because you're probably eating the wrong thing. It's not about eating oatmeal when you wake up in the morning, okay? You need protein and eggs. You need fat and protein in the morning. So I want to really challenge people today with the 2 things. Eat enough protein and 3 meals a day, okay? And we can talk about what protein, like quantity, looks like and what maybe a plate looks like from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But those are the 2 things I want to kind of hang on today.
Okay. It's interesting when you say, are you getting enough protein? Because when you really think about it and you start to measure the food that you eat, I know there's been seasons where I have actually measured it, and at the end of the day, it's like I have undereaten it drastically.
1,000 calories.
Oh, it's insane.
I mean, a male needs, I'm going to say an active male needs about 3,000 calories a day. And an active female needs about 2,400 calories a day. You look around, and if I surveyed 10 moms, maybe 1 mom is eating over 2,000 calories a day.
Because that's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. It is.
Wow. Yeah.
It is. But then you ask them, hey, are you tired? Around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, do you get brain foggish? Hey, are you sore? Do you not recover as well? How's your sleep? What's your hormones look like? What's your thyroid look like?
How often? What's the common response? Well, I'm just not hungry, or what's?
I forget.
That's common.
Or it's just like, hey, I'm just not hungry. Well, have you had a snack in the last 2 hours? Yeah, I had some cheese and crackers. There's organic almond flour crackers and grass-fed goat cheese. But guess what that did? Is it just created a little bit of an insulin response, shut down your hunger. Are you going to be hungry an hour later? No, you're not going to be hungry an hour later. So that's more of the why.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's fascinating, the under-eating population, and I'm at fault too. Like I know that sometimes.
For sure, me too. Absolutely, man. Again, we're blessed to be busy, so it takes intentionality to eat that. But if you were to set it up where, okay, I don't have to worry about snacks, just 3 square meals a day with protein, fat, fiber, healthy carbs, right, coming from that fiber source, then I think you're definitely going to be set up for success.
And if you were to have eggs at every meal, then you'd have to get another mortgage out on your house right now.
I heard about that. I don't know so a patient told me about that yesterday. I'm like, really? Eggs?
It's incredible.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We eat a lot of eggs at our house.
We do too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dozens a week.
Dozens a week. I'm actually going right after this to get more eggs for the
Nice.
family. Okay, so common things that they're saying to you, you've kind of gone over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like do you want to get out on this episode as well when it comes to nutrition?
Okay, so we've kind of established stop intermittent fasting. Go to 3 meals a day, no snacking, please. Okay? Balance your plate with protein, fat, fiber, healthy carbs. All right. Now, how much protein should a person? So the two challenges that I'm going to give the listener:
Okay.
3 meals a day, and if you're a female, try to be about, I would say, 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, 70 grams of protein per day. 150 pounds, 105 grams of protein per day.
Okay.
So that kind of gives you an idea of, all right, so for most women, they need about 100 grams of protein per day. Okay? We really want those protein sources coming from lean meat, eggs, fish as our sources. And then the male, we want to be about 150 or so grams of protein per day.
I'm going to interrupt you just a question because this has came to my mind. How concerned or important is the quality of that food to you? Maybe talk about for the individual that isn't getting any of this versus they are getting it and they can't figure out why they're always tired. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The first step would be, don't hang your hat on like, oh, I have to get this perfect source of protein. The first goal is just get adequate nutrition.
Okay.
And then we can clean up from there. Again, we get overwhelmed with grass-fed, wild. Yes, I get it. That's great. And I'm going to tell you it's great. It's what I eat. But is it what you should eat right now? I don't know. I don't know your lifestyle. And if you're not eating enough, then and that seems really far for you, then just go to Kroger and get whatever's on sale. I don't care. I don't care if it's grain fed right now. Just get some nourishment into your body. Get some nutrition into your body. Get that quantity up, and then we can clean up from there. Yes, ideally, we want clean grass-fed meats.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we shouldn't. But if you can't, or you're not in that kind of season, and it seems overwhelming, then lean meat, less fat, okay, is going to be the cleaner way of getting a less healthy meat.
And that transition too would probably yield to not having the excuse of it is so expensive.
Right. That's
Eating
right.
healthy is so, because it is. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It is healthier, but if you're not getting any good nutrition, some that is a less investment is better than nothing at all.
That's right. Yeah, you nailed it. As long as you're meeting that nutritional requirement, then we can build a foundation that then clean up from there. So 3 meals a day, trying to get total quantity of 150 grams of protein per day, going from kind of female to male, depending upon how much you weigh. And remember, when you consume protein, it's going to raise your metabolism. You're going to burn more calories eating more protein. It's very satiating. And so you're just not going to be hungry for all those sugars and carbs that you may want to kind of run to. So nutritional building, right? So we have strength training, and then we got to feed what we train. So we need about 0.6 to 0.8 grams of protein per day. Grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. So that's going to be about 100 grams for that female, about 150 or so grams for that male. And we're going to do that in 3 portions. No snacking. We're going to stabilize blood sugar levels. We're nourishing and helping our muscles recover. We're nourishing our brain and our body. We're helping our hormones balance. And watch what happens to how great you feel, what weight loss occurs, and your body composition that starts to change. So those are kind of our 2 initiating pillars of health.
If, going back to the beginning of the episode, I do want to ask you this question. If someone has one gigantic meal a day and they've done it for years because they've trained their body to do that, and you said you should force yourself, how long will that forcing last? If that makes sense.
Yeah, about 2 weeks until the hunger starts returning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you start really hammering that nutrition early on in the day, then you start wanting it more. And it's going to take about 2, sometimes 4 weeks, depending upon how your hormonal system is currently operating.
Speak to that person right now that's listening to this episode that is eating that 1 meal a day, but yet they're always tired and they're just not hungry. What would you say to them right now?
Yeah, I would tell you, if you're having those symptoms of one, you're under eating. 2, you're having maybe health concerns, health symptoms of chronic fatigue and chronic pain and not sleeping well and hormone disruption, then your way is probably not working, right? It's very difficult to get 2,000, 2,500 calories in one meal per day. Is it going to work in the beginning? Yeah, it probably did. But at some point, a shift has to happen where you're getting adequate calories because your metabolism, your hormonal system is just kind of going to it's going to adapt to how much nutrition you're consuming. And so more than like you're in hibernation mode, starvation mode is what we call it. So I would just say, hey, go from 1 meal to 2 meals a day. If you're at 2 meals, go from 2 meals to 3 meals a day. Just add 1 meal to try to get to that ideal 3 meals per day, no snacking, stable blood sugar levels, and adequate protein.
That's good. Pillar of health, nutrition. Anything else you want to add?
That's it.
You got you want to eat. You got to get. You're looking at that. I'm just going to keep going with his app. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. Just had a brain toot.
It's early, bro.
No, it's not too early. I just was going to say something else, but Real Health Podcast with Dr. B, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating, a 5-star review. We would love it. And share this on your Facebook and your Instagram. Pillar of Health, Nutrition. Share it with everyone. Talk to you soon.
Before you hit X, hold on 1 second. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast today with Dr. B. 2 things that would really help the Real Health Podcast movement. 1, share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you're on a social network. And 2, if you go to Apple Podcast and you scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and give us a review. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next episode.